Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Janvi Anand. My friends call me Jay. I'm a singer-songwriter, guitarist, and educator, as told. I would like to start off with a performance for you guys and then dive into the talk, if that's all right. Come home, I miss you. Please come home. Come home, I need you. Please come home. The empty bed, the silent words, the lonely nights, things untold, mistakes I made over and over again. Hurt feelings and a broken heart. I wish I had never said that I love you. Come home, I miss you. Please come home. Come home, I need you. Please come home. Come home, I miss you. Please come home. Come home, I need you. Please come home. Come home. I love you. Please come home. Thank you. So I'm here to talk about something completely irrelevant to the music. I wanted to share a story with you of a child. Imagine a 5-year-old waking up every day thinking there's something wrong with them, with how they feel, what they think, and what their body is like. So waking up every day and thinking there would be something which would happen and fix everything the next day. But that's not how miracles work. This 5-year-old kid was me. I did not understand what is happening. And for the most time of my childhood, from till the age of 12, I think, I was just figuring out this question, what is wrong? But I did not know what the answer was. Sexuality, preferences, or attraction, these words were alien to me. But over time, I figured I'm attracted to girls. But I did not feel like one in a stereotypical way. But again, the world did not see that as something which is acceptable. So I could never express myself of what is going on in my mind and what should I do. There were no do's and don'ts. So I was just trying to constantly battle this of what is happening. I told my mother eventually, she found out. But of course, there were question marks, and she did not accept of it. My sibling, she ended up crying, thinking I had a fatal disease. But I ended up meeting this female who saw through me. So I did not have to use any words, but she could see me for who I was. But over time, even that was just there, and she was constantly pulling me down, questioning me for who I was, and tried to make me believe that I am damaged. But every time anything else would go wrong, she was there. She would come and say, I love you, but this is not something you can tell anyone else. And I was happily there giving in till the time I figured, okay, she's cheating on me. And I was trying to save this, I was trying to save us, I was trying to save her for good odd 13 years of my life, till the time I figured if I tried saving her, I won't be able to save my own self. And I moved on. So from that point, I always knew that I have to take care of my own self. So I started saving at a very young age. And I knew I have to focus on my career to try and prove my worth so that people can see me for who I am and not what I prefer. So I wanted people to know me for what I do. And music is something which has always been with me. I started playing an instrument when I was 4. And it has constantly been my mode of expression of what I feel and how I feel. So I changed schools to get more opportunities, but without an audition, I was told I was not good enough. And I think somewhere I knew I wasn't, but that was the whole reason of me deciding to travel 90 minutes one way each day so that I can get those opportunities and guidance so that I can work on myself. But that did not happen. So like every other teenager, I sulked and I decided I'm going to create my own path, and I started training under private teachers. I knew I was not good enough. I never felt like one. So I was constantly changing teachers. I was trying to figure out how can I polish my art. So there was everyone around me with boyfriend or girlfriend issues and makeup, talk about makeup and pimples. And there I was constantly battling my own self, my mind, my body, with a broken heart, trust issues, and of course pimples, because teenage. But with this, I always knew that I really want to get this done. And my first step towards working it professionally, I started my music school in 2011. I started teaching, and I started trying to show the world that there is more to me beyond what I wear and how I act. I taught over about 150 children before I decided to move to Los Angeles and study music further. So I moved to LA, and I was so into it that I want to make this happen and I want to learn as much as I can, that I completely isolated myself. I was just in those four walls, between those four walls, trying to grasp as much information I can and work on my craft rather than actually building any human relationships. And all my friends were back home, a time zone apart, so I was there all by myself, trying to figure out what's happening. And this time I thought there's going to be another miracle, and I will be able to make something out of what I was doing professionally. But again, that's not how miracles work. I was very unusual, I feel. So right after I graduated, I'm in another continent. I spent about $80,000 on my education. I'm jobless. I'm broke because there are no savings, and I had too much pride to take more money from my parents. So I was there figuring out what to do with my life. So I ended up taking up a job because I had to pay some bills. So I took up a job working at a kiosk selling phone covers. And the first day of taking up that job, I was like, do I really want to do this? Did I spend my entire life till that point to sell phone covers out of everything? So I did that job for 2 weeks because I had to finish that tenure of, it was used to be bi-weekly. So I left that job right after the first 2 weeks. And I just focused on making more music and trying to find other jobs where I can actually use my education and my skills. But it was all getting onto me very strongly, very, very strongly. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break. I came back to India for 2 weeks. Like, I'm going to meet my friends, I'll meet my family, I'll settle in, go back and try and get my focus back. So that's what I did. I came back, settled. After 2 weeks, went back to US and started working on my album, Faces of Love, which I released in 2017. So 3 months of the top of the year, all I was doing was writing songs, recording them, and trying to create something of what I had known by far. But that was the only thing I had in hand. as soon as I finished the album, everything that had happened to me till that point in my life, it just hit me. And it hit me so badly that I just did not know what's happening. Imagine when you open your computer and there are multiple tabs which are open and your computer just gets stuck because it does not know how to handle that much load. That is exactly what was happening to me. I could not make simple decisions as to what I'm going to eat today or what I'm going to wear today. I could not get out of bed for weeks straight out. I did not know who to talk to and what to talk to them about, what should I tell them, because I had no capacity to do anything at all. I lost like 12 kgs during that period. But then I've always had a very strong support system from my friends who are in the audience today. And I had a word with them. I told them what I'm going through. They understood, and there was just a unanimous call, you know what, come back home. So I moved back about a year and a half ago to work on myself so that I can get myself and my career back on track. But I decided to take it slow. I went for a few therapy sessions so that I can isolate the points which are actually bothering me for not letting me do what I want to do in life. So I did that. I started traveling a bit, meeting more and more people, and talking about what I'm going through. Most importantly, talking about who I am instead of hiding it. Because all that mockery and all those eyes I had faced all my entire life, they were not helping me. And I knew I had to stand up for my own self. So I met people and I shared my story, and I started sharing my story through my music. So I came back, I worked on myself very hard. I think in my case, though I had multiple triggers to make me reach that point, but for a lot of people, it is just that one trigger you need and they fall into depression or any sort of mental health issues. And we do not listen, we do not read the signs. Like you cannot, even the individual in that moment does not have the capacity to see what is happening to them. So I want to let others know that please pay attention and read those signs when someone is not being themselves, because definitely there's something bothering them. And all you have to do is listen. You do not need to provide them with a solution, but just be there for them and try to understand what they're going through. And you will see there are a lot of people who will actually understand. So here I am today. It's not a sad story. I'm here proud, standing in front of you as a transgender man in India who has successfully worked very hard and got where I am. I have released one album, one EP, and a single. I have toured Thailand, I have toured in India thrice, and I'm going on a US tour this summer. I have met so many amazing people in my personal life as well as my professional life who have accepted me for who I am and pushed me to share my story with the world so that I can tell them that there are people who would help you build yourself into the best version of your own self. They would always support you. Like my parents, though they're not a fan of my personal choices in life, but they've always had my back in my professional life. They've always supported me to become a musician. My friends have been there every time, whether it was booking appointments with therapists, researching for them, or answering those 3 a.m. calls where I was like, I do not know what's happening. In my career, I have had people who have made my life so easy, taking care of all the things in terms of dealing with people or getting gigs, whatever it is. So talk, I think that is the most important thing. You need to tell who you are and accept yourself for who you are. So I write music, as she said, to share stories and emotions. I want people to be aware about their own emotions and what others feel like, so that once they know what is happening, they would be more attentive towards others. So I spread love through my music, and I would really appreciate if people do the same in any form and listen to people and make this place a better place to live. Thank you.